And this is going to be the overview of the enhancements in the Winter 2014 release of Information Now. As we get started, let me say that I've got several browsers opened with Information Now in them, so don't let that confuse you as I jump around from one to another. I'm going to mute the participants, so if you have a question, you can save that until the end. I think this will help so that you don't hear each other and background noises won't be distracting. As I was saying, I've got Information Now opened up in several windows. This is the main one I'll be using. It's Alabama High School 2013-14 academic session. That's the current academic session. I've also got Alabama High School in the 14-15 future academic session available. We'll look at that. And over here in Google Chrome, I've got the parent portal open. And let me add, just in case I forget later on, Google Chrome is a supported browser in this release, so that is a great enhancement I think a lot of people are really going to like. And let me also add that it is supported not for sets, but for the other areas of Information Now. It is INOW Health, INOW Billing, and InFocus. Chrome is supported, but not for sets. Okay, the first thing in this document that I sent out is student registration and data. Basically, there's a few enhancements that have been added. One is that when registering a student, you're going to have the option to copy custom data, and this is after the academic session has created. You know, when you create a future academic session, there's a checkbox that says to copy custom data. Well, later on after that, if you register or enroll a new student, you would probably also like that information to be copied forward. So that will happen now if certain criteria are in place. Also, when registering a student as duly enrolled, you would like to have the option to copy custom data. That has been added. And there's been some fields opened on the main tab when a student is newly registered. So let's take a look at that real quick here. First of all, I'm going to go to Students, Setup, and look at Custom Fields, Refresh. I'm going to use this volunteer field as a guinea pig, and here's what I wanted to show you. Retain data during rollover. This will have to be checked in order for this enhancement to work. So it's not going to copy everything on the custom tab, but just what you have is checked to retain data during rollover, which always has in the past worked when you were creating new academic sessions, but now it will also work if you go into that future academic session and register another student. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to go to Students, Student Maintenance, and I'm going to search. And I'm not going to register a new student. I'm just going to kind of show you that now that I've got a student, Teddy Bear, he's enrolled in this current academic session, he's registered in the future academic session, and if I change something on his custom screen, and we looked at the volunteer field a minute ago that's marked as retained during rollover, that change will be reflected in the future academic session. But the same idea would apply if I was enrolling Teddy Bear in the future academic session. So I'm looking in the current academic session. First of all, I want to show you the status of that volunteer field in both academic sessions. On his custom tab, Teddy Bear is not checked as a volunteer. So I want to close out of there and show you that it's the same in the future academic session. So in Internet Explorer, I have the 2014-15 academic session opened. I'll go to Students, Search. If I leave everything blank when I click Search, it pulls up all students. There's Teddy Bear, registered in the future academic session. I'm going to click on his student number to open up that record. Go to the Custom tab. And Volunteer is not checked. So I just wanted to verify that that was the same in both academic sessions. Now I'm going to go back to the current academic session, open up Teddy Bear's record, and make a change to that custom field. And what I expect is that that change will be reflected in the future academic session. So I go to the Custom tab, check the volunteer field for Teddy Bear, press the Enter key, that saves it. Now I should see that check in the future academic session. So I'm going to go to the future academic session, open up Teddy Bear's record, go to the Custom tab, and volunteer is checked. And again, if Teddy Bear was not registered in this future academic session and I were to register him right now after the academic session had been created, that field should come forward as well. All right. Also, as I mentioned, there's a few fields that are going to be made visible that weren't visible in the past. To show you this, I'm going to take a look at this student, New Bear. Remember, I'm in the future academic session. New Bear is registered. Now, the difference between New Bear and Teddy Bear is New Bear did not go to school with me last year. He's like a brand new kindergarten student who's registered for the first time. Now, in the past, several fields would not have been visible on this student. And they are the original enrollment date, the expected graduation date, the grade level, and I have access to these now, and the lunch status field. None of these were available before this release. And to demonstrate that, I have got another academic session opened here. It's this one right here, Rainy 3 Middle. I've got a student 101 here. He's a new register. And if I open his record up and look at him, you'll see that none of those fields are there. Original enrollment date, expected graduation date, grade level, and lunch status. Because I am on the old version in this site right here, it's probably going to be hard or impossible for you to see, but down here at the bottom there's a little 6.2.11. That's the old version. All right, the next thing in the document that we're going through has a few enhancements to the home portal report card. One of them is that now you'll be able to select your report card format that parents and students will see when they're viewing the report card in the home portal. In the past, I can't remember which one it was, but you had no control over it. It was just in the background set and you couldn't change it. But now you'll be able to select the format you want them to see. Also, you'll be able to select whether or not you want them to see year-to-date grades. So if you're printing for second 9 weeks, do you also want them to see the first 9 weeks grades on the same report card? Another enhancement that's been added to the home portal report card is now report card, free-form comments, and notes will show up. So I'm going to go back to my Information Now current academic session at Alabama High School, and I want to go take a look at the home portal settings. So I'm going to go to School/District, and of course this setting, it can be set district-wide or at a school level. To do it at the district, I would go to School/District and District, go to the Home Portal tab, it's loading. It'll be here shortly. And we're going to see a couple of new fields on this screen. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and here's the fields we're looking at. Hopefully you can see them. We've got the report card type with a drop-down where I can choose report card, which means traditional report card down the page, or I can choose the traditional report card with grades going across the page, or the two-column report card, or the portrait report card. Also, you'll notice the year-to-date checkbox. If I want people to see that, I just put a check in that box. While I'm on this screen, let me also point out another new field on this screen, and that's the fees. Students and parents will now be able to see fees with outstanding balances in the home portal if you enable for them to do so. And again, this is the district setting. Both of these settings can be changed at the school level if you desire. I'm going to go to school/district and school. If you're in as an administrator like me, you'll search for the school that you want to view. Otherwise, it'll open right up to the school that you have access to. I want to look at Alabama High School. And I'm going to go to the Home Portal tab. So this is just for Alabama High School. At this screen, I can choose to use the district's home portal settings, or I can use different, which is what I've selected to do. I do have selected that I want to see fees, or allow parents and students to see fees, and I have selected that I want to see the traditional report card with grades across the page, and I do want to display year-to-date information. All right, let's take a look at what that's going to look like in the home portal. I'm going to go to Google Chrome, where I'm logged in as a student, Teddy Bear. And under Reports, I'm going to click on Report Card. Again, I don't have an option of what report card I get to see at this point, but the school has set that for me. And I can't remember which one I chose. I think I chose the traditional report card with grades across the page. I'm going to print for quarter 3. And I expect to see if I remember right, the traditional report card with grades across the page. Also, I should see year-to-date information because I had that box checked. And also, I should see free-form notes and comments because that has been added to this release. So I hope you can see this okay. I'll try to make it a little bit bigger. So I've got quarter 1, quarter 2, the semester 1 exam, the second semester average, and the third quarter grade. So I am seeing year-to-date information. I am seeing the grades across the page. And also here's a note that says Teddy did a great job on the agriculture project. That's a free-form note that was just entered into his report card comments area. So that one is showing up. While I'm looking at this home portal screen, let me take a look at the fees screen. Under student information, I have a menu option here for fees because I enabled that back in the home portal settings. And I can see fees with outstanding balances. Let me note here that you will not see fees if they've already been paid off. All of these show a balance, so they're all visible. Also, let me add that I can see this fee from 2012. That's an old fee from last year. If I don't want to see that, I can actually control whether or not that's visible by setting in information now. So to do that, I'm going to go to my Alabama High School current academic session, and I'm going to go to School/District, Setup, in the Settings tab. And under Fees, I'm going to change Payments are applied to the oldest charges in the school to Payments are applied to the oldest charges in the academic session. So this is going to make it so that I only see fees in the current academic session. So I'm going to scroll down, click OK, and then I'm going to go back to the home portal and refresh the screen and see if I no longer see that fee from last year. And it's gone. So now I'm only seeing fees for this academic session. Okay, also related to report cards is the Go Green has been added to the portrait and the 2-column report card. I'm going to go to Grades, Reports. Now, in the traditional report card, the Go Green checkbox has always been available. So that's the one I'm looking at right here. This one has always been available. So basically, if I check this box and print report cards, students who have elected the Go Green option, a paper copy will not print out for them. But it was only available until this release on the traditional report card. But now it is also available on the portrait style report card. So here it is. This is new. And also on the 2-column report card. And there it is again. This Go Green checkbox for the 2-column report card is new. Let me add, while I'm thinking about it, one more thing about the fees. And I think I mentioned it, but I kind of wanted to demonstrate it. If I go look at Teddy Bear's fees in Information Now, so I'm going to go to Students, Student Maintenance, Search, and I'm going to open up Teddy Bear's record. Under Manage, I want to click on Fees. And the thing I wanted to show you is this band uniform fee. It is for this year, but it's been paid off. So it's not showing up in the home portal because it's been paid off. That's what I wanted to point out. So if I go back to home portal, I don't see any band uniform fee. All right, the next item in the document is the attendance reasons limits. This change request adds attendance limits by reason codes. These limits can be set district-wide or by school. It will affect all daily attendance records, regardless of how they have been entered via classroom attendance, attendance by date, check-in, check-out, or individually through the student maintenance menu. So I'm going to go back to Information Now, logged in as an administrator in the current academic session. On the main menu, I'm going to click Attendance. And I'm going to go to the Setup screen. And to the Settings tab. And here's where I'll see the reason limits. If I scroll down, I'm at Ramey 3 Middle. I need to be at Alabama High School. Sorry about that. Attendance, Setup, Settings, and now I want to scroll down and look in the bottom right-hand area of the screen. Here's my reason limits. Basically, I'll have a list of all my reasons, and if I want to enter a limit indicating the student can only use this reason X number of times, I can do it in these boxes right here on the right. So, for example, for college visit, I've entered a 2. For tardy excused, I've entered a 2. And the tardy excused, of course, that's not a realistic example. I just wanted to demonstrate that this will work for tardies or all-day absences, because either one would be considered a daily record. So this is going to be looking at number of times that you use these reasons for daily records. So I've entered a limit here that a student can have an excused absence for a college visit, but only twice. Let me note also that this can be for the district or at a school level. It's you can choose that by these radio buttons, use district attendance settings or use different attendance settings. So since I've selected use different attendance settings, these settings are only going to apply to Alabama High School. They wouldn't apply to Alabama Middle School. All right, to demonstrate what this will look like, I'm actually going to go into a student record, and of course it would work if you were trying to enter these things through the attendance menu as well. And I'm going to use Teddy Bear. Under the Manage menu, I'm going to click on Attendance. And I'm going to try to add 3 days of college visit for Teddy Bear. So I've got a start date of the 25th, an end date of the 27th. The level is all day other because that's where my college visit reason is. So if I try to use that reason for 3 days, it should not let me. So I click Create. And I get an error that says, Teddy Bear has already reached the maximum absent limit of 2 for reason college visit. So it put the brakes on. It did not create any of those days. It didn't create 2 and leave the 3rd one off. It just didn't do any. So I would have to go make the 2 and then create another day with an unexcused reason. And there's not an override for it. If you wanted to make a workaround and create another reason that you used for special situations in an override, you could do that, but it's not going to let me use that college visit reason more than twice for this student. I'm going to stay on this page, and just to show you that it would do the same thing for a tardy, I put the tardy excused reason with a limit of 2, which again was not a realistic example, but I just wanted to demonstrate that it'll work for a tardy as well, because a tardy is considered a daily record, even though they weren't gone all day. So there's my error that he's used his limit too much of tardy excused. There aren't any security changes with this enhancement, but let me know you must have permission to edit the attendance settings for the school in order to set those up. All right. My favorite enhancement to this year's winter release is the homeroom roster maintenance. This change request allows the user to add and delete students from homeroom via the homeroom roster screen. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to go to Scheduling, Homerooms, and this is a list of all my homerooms. I'm going to open up this first one and click View Roster. This is the screen that's going to have something new on it. In the past, Add, View, and Delete were not available on this screen. You just had a list of students. But now, if I want to delete a student from a homeroom, I can just put a check by their name and click Delete, or I can click on their student number. And this is basically the screen that you would see if you went to the students, student maintenance, searched for the student, and viewed them, went to their school tab, and opened up their homeroom history. This is what you're looking at. Now, if I delete it from right here, it would completely delete the homeroom out of this student's homeroom history. It would be completely gone. If, on the other hand, I just put a check by the student and click Delete, it would leave that homeroom history in there, but they would no longer be in the homeroom. Let me show you what I mean. I've got Rainstorm in this homeroom. If I click Delete, put a check by the name and click Delete, okay. Rainstorm is removed from the homeroom. Now I want to go look at Rainstorm's student history, homeroom history. So I'm going to go to Students, and I'll search for anybody whose last name starts with S. And there's Rainstorm. I'm going to go to that student's school tab. That's where you'll see the homeroom. And note this box is empty. She's not in any homeroom right now. However, if I click on the history, I will see that at one time she was in homeroom 015 Miller. Okay, going back to scheduling and homerooms, I'm going to open up that same homeroom. I'm going to go to View Roster. And again, if I had, rather than putting a check by the student and clicking Delete, if I had opened up the student record and then deleted this record, then there would have been no history that the student had ever been in a homeroom. I can also add students to the homeroom from this screen. That's going to be very useful. By clicking the Add button, I can put in some criteria and click Search, or I can just leave everything blank and it'll pull up all the students in the school. And I'm going to try to add Susie Q to this homeroom by putting a check by Susie's name and clicking Next. And I can put in a date If I wanted to enter a reason here, any type of text I wanted, that would be fine, and then click OK. And it tells me success. Susie Q has been added to the homeroom. And when I go back to the homeroom roster screen, I can see that she's in there now. All right, the next item that we're going to cover is grade label changes. A couple of enhancements to the grade labels. One is a new size is now supported. It's 1.25 inches by 3 1/4. Also, you'll have the option when you're doing grade labels to choose alpha, numeric, or both. Let me try to show you what that new size looks like. Basically what I did is I printed out a report using that size, and since you can't see the lines on the report, I used whatever paint or editing photo editor I had to draw some lines in there. And this is basically what I got. The 1 1/4 by 3 1/4 is going to have 6 across and 3 down. They're tall and skinny, and I just wanted to give you an idea of what those look like. And our STI number for those is L0601PG. To view what the parameter screen looks like for those, I'm going to go to Students, Reports, and Grade Label. And of course, I could have gotten to this same report by going to the Reports menu. Grade label is a lot like a permanent record label, except instead of pulling grades from the transcript, it pulls them from the report card. And it also allows you to pull more than one per term, which is useful in a lot of cases. So this drop box right here has the 1 1/4 by 3 1/4. That's new. Also new on this the grade label is this drop box for alpha, numeric, or both. So now when printing grade labels, I have that option. All right, next item is permanent record label, number to skip. So to view a permanent record label, I'm just going to go to an individual student. Of course, I could go to the reports menu. And I'm just going to search for my favorite student, Teddy Bear. And go take a look at his transcript. And he does have a transcript in there. I entered it in just to try to have something to print. And if I click on the header for this transcript, 2012-13 Term 1, I'll have the option to print the permanent record label report under the Reports menu. And this would just print it for one student since I'm only looking at one student. So, new on this screen is the new size, 1 1/4 by 3 1/4, same as added on the grade label report. And also new is the number to skip. So if I just want to print for one student and I've got a label sheet and the first label's already been used and I want to print on label number 2, I can tell it to skip one and it will it'll skip that top left label and print on the one below it. I'll select this and I'm going to skip one and click preview here. And I can't remember which size I chose, but basically I just wanted you to see that it'll skip the top left and print on the one below it. If that comes out in the WebEx, okay, that'll be good. And if not, then you'll just have to take my word for it. Okay, so here we are. So apparently I didn't choose the new size, the tall skinny ones, but there's a blank spot above the label where it printed, so it did skip one. Okay, moving on to the district household label. I can view this report by going to Reports, in district, which it defaulted to. And here's the new report, district household/family mailing label. I'm going to go ahead and run this report and see what I get. I'm going to take the defaults here. Basically, I should get everybody in the district, which for my district is just 2. I've got the Mama Bear family and the Priscilla Manila family, and I actually had to put those households in just to be able to get something on the report. The point is, though, is I'm getting everybody in the district. If I were to close this and just run that report for the school by going to Reports in School and scrolling down to the household/family mailing label and previewing, now I'm not running for the district, I'm just running for the school. So the only family I get is the Mama Bear family, which indicates Priscilla Manila is in a different school. And there will be a new permission added for this new report. So let me show you where that is. I'll go to System Preferences, Permission Maintenance, and whichever group you want to grant the report to. Let's say I want to grant it to the enrollment clerk. I'll highlight that group. I'll go to the Reports tab up in the top of the screen. And then I want to look for the district household/family mailing label. So I scroll down to the district reports area, and here's the new permission if you want to grant somebody rights to that report. Okay, going to look at event log changes now. These are found under the Management Console. So on the main menu, I click on Management Console, and then I'm going to click on Event Log. And these changes will apply to the Student tab. And we've got a few new fields down here under the module. Access is new. Address is new, contact is new, and custom is new. So I'm going to change my date here just to try to get some information. I'm going to leave all of my student information blank because this is a training data. There's not that many students, and it's not used very much, so I won't be overwhelmed with information. If you did this in a live site, you would probably get pages and pages worth of data returned. Okay, and I can see Teddy Bear had an edit made to the custom screen, and that's what I did during this WebEx when I changed that volunteer checkbox for him. So it tells me something was changed on his custom tab. It doesn't tell me what, but it does tell me something was changed on the custom tab, and it tells me who did it. So that's new, that it will record those changes to custom. Also notice the address when I was changing the addresses to get those family/household mailing labels. To be able to work, I had to do some edits to addresses, and it would let me know that an address had been changed. Contact, this is new. Again, working on the family mailing label report. You know, the student and the contact had them to be in the same household, so I had to edit the contact there. And access is new. I had to be able to log in as Teddy Bear to show you what the home portal looked like. So in order to do that, I had made some edits to his access screen. There aren't any new security permissions associated with this, but as in the past, the user must have access to the event log, which I can show you where that is real quick in the permission area by going to System Preferences, Permission Maintenance, select the group you want to work with, and then on the Tasks tab, which is what it defaulted to, I want to scroll down to the Security group. Which is right here, and event log. No changes there, but just in case you didn't know where that was, I wanted to show you. There's also new security for room and announcement. So this change request splits maintain school permission and adds maintain school announcements and maintain school rooms. This will be useful for anybody who had wanted an employee who they wanted to be able to add announcements, but they didn't want to give them maintain school. So now they'll be able to do this. And let me note, since it's split out now, it's likely that you're going to have people who were able to do it in the past, and they might call you up and say, hey, I can't do announcements anymore because it's a new permission now. You'll need to go grant them access to it. So this is going to be under school. And there's the old maintain school. If they had that in the past, they still will. But the new one is new ones are maintain school announcements and maintain school rooms. So those are separated now. You can grant those without having to give them maintain school. Let's go take a look at which screens that's going to affect. I'm going to go to school/district. I'm going to search. If you weren't in as administrator, it might open right up to your school at that point. I'm going to view Alabama High School. And you'll see on this screen the two tabs that you're granting them access to. One is this announcement tab right here, and the other is the rooms tab. So looking at the announcements, if you grant them permission, they will be able to add and delete announcements. On the rooms tab, same thing. If you grant them permission, they'll be able to add and delete rooms. All right. The next topic is STI assessment integration changes. This will allow auto-create activity in the gradebook when linking to an STI assessment. Also the ability to unlink an activity from an STI assessment and view the link. So I'm going to go to the gradebook to take a look at how a teacher would get to this by going to Classroom. It defaults to gradebook, and I'll just randomly open a gradebook. I picked one with students in it. I don't think it would matter for this demonstration because I'm not really linked to an STI assessment site. But from here, I'm going to go to the Plan tab. I don't have any activities created. So I'll just click on Add, which I could have gotten to from the score screen by clicking on Add Activity. And here's just what I wanted to show you. Under Manage, you'll see a link that says Import from STI Assessment. Now, if I click this, I'm going to get an error because I'm not integrated with STI Assessment. But I'm going to open up the document that I'm looking at so that we can view it together. And this shows, the Import from STI Assessment link that I just clicked on to get an error. But if I was integrated with any STI assessment, I would be presented with a list of the assessments that I could pull in from STI assessment into Information Now. And if I clicked on one, or bulleted one, and clicked OK, what would happen is information from STI assessment would be brought over. The date would be brought over into Information Now, the activity name, the checkbox for STI assessment would automatically be checked. A little note would be added that says imported from STI assessment. The total number of points available would be brought in. And if I had done this on an activity that was already created, I would get a warning telling me importing from STI assessment onto a current activity will overwrite the current activity data with data from STI assessment. Do you wish to continue? And it would tell me, okay, to continue. So once I've imported that information, I may want to go make changes to it. But as long as it's linked up with it, I can't edit it. So the next section tells you how to unlink an activity. So what you can do is you can import from STI assessment and then unlink, and then you would be able to make the edits. And all you have to do to unlink is remove the check from the STI assessment box, and then you would be able to make your edits. Okay, InfoSnap integration, some changes have been made. improved the person matching process via the API. Contact details can only be updated via the import methods if that contact is the custodian of the student being imported. If the health module of Information Now, i.e. Health Menu, not the student's medical screen, is being used, any person that is associated with the student as a physician or dentist will not be used as an associated contact. For the matching of physicians and dentists in the health import method, only automatically associate persons as physicians and dentists if they are already associated with another student as a physician or dentist. And much more medical information is now integrated. So there's going to be some improvements to the InfoSnap integration for any of you who use that product. Okay, state-specific changes. DC extended eligibility. Amended the current extended eligibility business rule to grant extended eligibility status to custodial parent matches of DC SNAP and DC TANF students only. The extended eligibility status should not be granted to custodial parent matches of DC foster students. So if I've got a foster child who qualifies for DC, that would not be extended to my biological child who lives in the same house. Also, a federal tab reset. If you go to student maintenance, and we'll take a look at this and search for a student and view him or her, there's a federal tab over on the right side. Some of those fields are going to be reset at rollover, verified for current school year and served by. So let me show you that real quick. I'm going to go to students. And I bet you know who I'm going to look at. It's my favorite student, Teddy Bear. Over on the right, I'm going to go to the Federal Program tab. And I want you to notice that Verified for Current School Year is checked. These are going to be reset at rollover. And Title 1A is in the Served By box. These two are going to be reset at rollover. So to demonstrate that, I created another academic session called Test Federal tab. And basically I just created this new academic session and wanted to see if those fields were going to be reset. So I'm going to go to Students and Search. And there's Teddy Bear. I'm going to open up his record. Go to the Federal Program tab, and indeed, Verified for Current School Year was reset, and so was Served By. I just wanted to verify that. I wanted to share with you the results. Okay, and that is it. If anybody has any questions, I would be happy to try to answer them. And I'm not hearing any questions. So I'd like to say thank you for attending. Hope you have a great day. And if you do come up with some questions later, please feel free to contact your customer care representative, and they would be happy to help you. Have a good day. Thank you.